mitähän sä pystyt siihen? Tää kaikki... Kumminkin siellä on hyvin mielenkiintoisia... Amberin mielenkiintotapauksia. Paitsi että striimissä ei nähnyt kuvaa, sitä on taavusta. Pienhetki. Ovat tuo kikka toimii. Nyt näyttäis ainakin, että kuvakin. Päästään keskustelemaan Pizzajumalan kanssa.
Religious emblems were scattered throughout the place. The sacred lace of Hyperopia, the goddess of shoes. The holy trolley of Mr. Safeway. The blessed chamber pot of the whinging martyrs of Constipata. Anything could become a sacred relic if you weren't careful enough.
Henkien jumala.
I didn't need a totem, and I wouldn't steal one from here even if I did. Most of the statues were a mystery to me, but I recognized the odd face. There was Zephyrus, the god of slight breezes. And Lamentatio, the goddess of interminable opera. I thought I could see FedEx, messenger of the gods, in one corner. It would have been satisfying to smash up one of the statues, but it would probably have caused a lot of trouble. The only non-denominational feature in the temple was a small pool of water in the central atrium.
On Pizzajumala ja on kenkä.
What was I going to do? Go for a swim?
No mä kyllä ajattelin, että vähän uimasta. Ei sit.
Behind Mooncalf was a beautiful stained glass window depicting Morphine, the angel of dreams, passing the recipe for the Discworld's first pizza to a mortal. If I strained, I thought I could just about see a bay leaf on the pizza.
I was drawn to Mooncalf by his religious fervor. He was the kind of man who wouldn't miss a single event in the temple, no matter how trivial. He also struck me as the kind of fanatic who knew 100 words for infidel, and not one for compromise.
Oi voi.
You with the hat. Have you accepted Anu Anu into your heart?
The name isn't you with the hat, it's Luton. And no, I haven't accepted Anu into my heart. Why should I?
For it is written in the book of Kelpie, he who has not the spirit of Anu in his heart shall have his heart eaten by the Divine One on the day of judgment.
I'll take that chance.
Oh, you may mock, infidel, but the day of judgment is coming, mark my words. The signs are clear, the omens are unquestionable, the stars are right and the auguries are undeniable.
What about the auspices?
The auspices are fair to light with a small chance of Judgment Day later in the eon.
I think you're taking the auspice. Did your church buy that window?
We are not a church, we're a cult.
What's the difference?
Demographics. Churches appeal to the high society element. Good for funding, but bad for grassroots support. Now, your average cult has much more of a street-level membership. Not so much money, but easier to get things done.
Well, did your cult buy that window?
No. It was purchased by the Eternal Seers of Revelation Joe many years ago. It depicts the moment when the Divine Prophet was given the recipe for pizza by the Creator.
How come you're working in front of it?
The Eternal Seers ran out of support decades ago.
It figures.
Mitä? Kukaan ei ymmärrä hyvän pizzan.
Now let me get this straight. The Eternal Seers of Revelation Joe worshipped pizza.
No, my child. The legends say that the first pizza was created by the Klatchian mystic Ron Revelation Joe Sawadi, who claimed to have been given the recipe in a dream by the creator of the Discworld himself. Allegedly, the creator said that the pizza was what he had intended all along. Those who have seen the original say that what the creator had in mind was a small cheese and pepperoni affair, with a few black olives, and things like mountains and seas got added out of last-minute enthusiasm, as so often happens.
So who were the Eternal Seers?
The survivors of the schism of the Turnwise Ones and the resulting Grand Jihad.
Grand Jihad?
Yes. After the deaths of some 25,000 people, the faithful were allowed to add one small bay leaf to the recipe.
So is this divine figure in the window the creator?
Oh no. It is blasphemy for any to depict the rat face of the creator.
Because of his divine stature?
No. Because it is clear that world creation is not a divine act, but a rather straightforward mechanical function. Hence, to praise the creator would be blasphemy.
How does the creator feel about that?
He seems content. He's had some success with his design, apparently. The details are sketchy.
Oi hyvä. Oh. Se onkin hyvä, kun se maailman kehittäjää pakanaksi.
So, here I am, a fresh punter. Why should I choose your religion over anyone else's?
Because Anu is the true god of gods, more mighty and strong than all the others put together.
About half the gods in this temple alone claim to be the true god of gods.
But Anu reveals himself through his divine miracles.
Such as?
Ever looked at your thumb? Ever really thought about it? Ever considered what you couldn't do if you didn't have a thumb?
Anu is the god of thumbs?
No, but Anu bites away the thumbs of the non-believer.
I'm not convinced. Anything else?
Join the cult of Anu now to receive a free faux pearl statuette of the great god Anu, a $90 value, absolutely free. Be the envy of your friends as they roast in the fires of Sogorok.
Thanks, but I'll pass. So what is Anu the god of?
Anu is above being bound to one single concept or idea. He is power incarnate.
Come on, level with me. What is he the god of?
It's not to be discussed with non-believers.
So this is less of a religion and more of a lucky dip.
Oh, I feel sorry for you on Judgment Day.
You keep mentioning Judgment Day. What do you mean?
Mark my words, it's coming. Darkness and evil shall descend on this city, and fetid corruption shall consume the very souls of the unbelievers. Only the followers of Anu shall be saved.
Darkness and evil? How exactly are we going to tell Judgment Day from any other day in Ankh-Morpork?
By the time you realize what's going on, it will be too late.
It generally is. Do you know anything about the murder of the dwarf in this iconograph?
I do not.
I wasn't about to I suppressed the urge to ask for money. I asked Mooncalf where he was when Mundy was murdered. He seemed to take it in his stride. Perhaps religious fanatics are used to being suspects in murder investigations.
I was holding a service at that time.
Where?
Here, in the sanctum of the Temple of Small Gods.
So you have witnesses.
But of course, my entire congregation saw me give a glorious sermon in honor of Anu Anu.
So you can give me the names of some of your congregation to back up your alibi.
Betray the confidence of my flock? You must think me shallow of faith, Luton, to propose such a barbaric plan of action.
Shall I take that as a no, then?
En muista.
I found some frayed rope near Mundy's body. Any idea what it means?
My time belongs to the god Anu Anu, and I thank you not to waste it.
Does the word Azil mean anything to you?
I prefer to involve myself with more spiritual matters.
I asked Mooncalf if Carlotta was in the temple when Mundy was murdered. Frankly, he didn't seem very sure. His face took on a vacant look, like someone trying to remember who won the boat race in the year of the asthmatic antelope.
Yes. Yes, I believe I saw her in the temple that night.
Does she come here often?
She is indeed a regular of the Temple of Small Gods. I myself have lectured her at great length on the virtues of the cult of Anu Anu.
Why does she come here?
Why does anyone come here, Luton? For answers. For absolution. Perhaps simply out of boredom. But mostly for something to give her life a meaning.
What makes you think life has a meaning?
20 million zealots can't all be wrong.
There are 20 million members of your cult?
Not of this cult, but every religion is testament to the quest for meaning, even if our cult is the only true religion.
Don't you feel like you're just servicing a group of selfish, self-obsessed, half-wit deities whose ability to survive without you is considerably less than your ability to survive without them?
Watch your tongue, Luton. Talk like an atheist and you can expect a lightning bolt to strike you where you least expect.
I'll take my chances. Do you know a troll by the name of Malachite?
No.
Do you know a woman named Ilsa or a man named Two Conkers?
They are not followers of Anu Anu, and I do not associate with infidels.
What do you know about a dwarf named Al-Kali?
My time belongs to the god.
Have you heard of the counterweight killings?
I have not.
Nothing at all? Heard about any ritualistic killings in Ankh-Morpork?
Again, I have not.
I was suspicious. Most religious fanatics would have turned the counterweight killings into fuel for their zealous fire. Mooncalf's silence spoke more than words. Not literally. It wouldn't be much of a silence if it spoke. I imagine silences get kicked out of school for that sort of thing. The point was, I was suspicious of Mooncalf. There was something he wasn't telling me. I asked Mooncalf where he was when the murder took place, and he told me he was holding a sermon. I'm trying to find out why a troll named Sapphire would lie to me. Any thoughts?
I prefer to involve myself.
You don't happen to know how a troll singer might end up with a lot of money by any chance?
I prefer to involve myself.
Do you know anything about Sapphire's losing streak?
I prefer to involve myself.
Joo. Siinä oli kaikki.
Well, I'll be on my way.
I'll be here should you choose to repent. Did I tell you that we're giving away free tea towels to anyone who joins this week?
I need your help.
Vale!
Tell me about the...
Rumor has it that the Sun Emperor's private assassin is here in Ankh-Morpork, silencing those who have found out about the conspiracy to keep the Agatean Empire.
Hold on. Who's the Sun Emperor?
The ruler of the Agatean Empire, of course.
The Agatean Empire? That's on the counterweight continent, is it?
Not. Don't you know about the patrician's conspiracy to deny the existence of the counterweight continent to the populace? He could have us killed just for talking about it.
But everyone knows that the counterweight continent is real. We had a tourist from there a couple of years ago.
Privately, everyone knows, yes. But publicly, it's still just a legend. And the patrician makes sure it stays that way.
So what you're telling me is that an assassin from a nation that publicly doesn't exist is here killing off certain influential figures.
Exactly!
And all this has to do with a trade meeting at Ecclepon.
Apparently, there may be more to it than that.
Why Ecclepon? That's hundreds of leagues away.
Yes, but Ecclepon is the nearest port to the Agatean Empire. And agents of the Ochre Revolution from the counterweight continent are going to be at the meeting.
I see. What do you know about...
That troll is not... She's in with the She ran up...
What do you know about...
That... She...
What do you know...
That... She...
Do you know anything about
Reagan was secretly... He was rubbed out in a gangland...
Do you know Malachite?
They're planning to...
They? Who?
No, mate, I think...
What do you know about
Monday, you said? Yes! He was
Are we? Do you know
The dwarf? Yes, a minor player in the...
Do you know a... No? I thought...
Not every...
Do you know a woman? Have you seen her?
Oh, I know. She's part of one of the darkest conspiracies. And they're plotting... Oh, cuss!
You know about Mundy's... Was she here when he was... Does the word as...
Yeah, he was an...
I found some rope in the rafters where Any idea?
Did he have a...
I'm not...
You'd bet...
I'll have to go. The truth. Looking closely at the frayed rope hanging from the rafters, I knew that Mundy had been tied up by the legs and then hung from the ceiling. I didn't know why. Frankly, I wondered if I really wanted to know why. Something very strange was going on. Mundy's killer had tied his legs together with my rope. It was bad enough that he stole my rope, without implicating me in a gruesome murder at the same time. Nothing. There should have been something in the boots, only there wasn't. I was pretty sure that the watch didn't search them, and that didn't leave many options.
Rasittavia pikkeleitä. Tuli.
Come to persecute a man's... Do you know any...
I know a lot of people.
I found some...
What's that? I would. You're up.
Not a... I figure you...
It wouldn't be.
Tell me about...
Why don't you tell me about you?
Mankin what once again. Does the word is...
Leave me alone. This is...
What do you know?
I know a lot.
I need to speak...
Trying it.
Look,
She's in a...
Where did Sapphire get all that money from?
Ha, ha, ha. You never give up, do you?
That's considered an asset in my line of work.
Just leave me. I'm sick of and I am sick.
Look, you know I'm not gonna give up. Why not just pretend you've held out for a commendable length of time and finally cracked?
It could be our little secret. Luton, if anyone starts saving up to get an assassin for you, let me know, will you? That's one cause I'd gladly give generously to.
In the meantime, what about Sapphire's money?
I didn't even know she had any money.
She claims to have won it over at the casino.
At Saturnalia? You've got to be kidding. If Sapphire had a big win, the whole town would know about it by now. No, I'd be prepared to bet it has something to do with whoever she met when she missed her shift.
Who did she meet?
I've no idea. All I know is she missed her shift because she had to meet someone.
Thanks for your help.
Oh, it's always a pleasure, Luton.
Do you know anything about...
Leave me alone.
What?
That's all for now.
Always.
I've got some more questions for you, Sapphire.
Sapphire busy. Leave her alone.
I hear you had a mysterious meeting not too long ago. Not long after, you turn up with a lot of money. Sounds like an awfully big coincidence to me.
Stop harassing Sapphire. Already told Luton. Won the money at Saturnalia.
Right. So, you won a lot of money at the casino.
Yes, already told ya. Big win.
You won big at the casino, but no one at the casino seems to remember you winning.
They lie. Sapphire won big.
And this mysterious meeting as well. You say that had nothing to do with the money.
Forget about meeting. Meeting not important.
Not important, eh? I think it is. I say you met with someone and they gave you the money. Someone who had something to hide. Someone who'd pay good money to keep it quiet. Who was it, Sapphire?
No one.
It wasn't no one who paid you, Sapphire. It was someone who was interested in me, wasn't it? Someone who didn't want me digging around after Therma. Why? What's so important that someone would pay you to cover up for them? Who is it?
No one.
You'd better tell me, because I'm going to find out one way or another. And if you don't tell me, when I find out who it is, I'll tell them you told me where to find them.
No, she'll kill me.
Who? Who'd kill you?
Therma. It was Therma. I've been blackmailing Therma. She not want to be found.
Therma is still alive?
Yeah?
Good. Arrange a meeting with her for me.
What?
You heard me. Face it, Sapphire, your little scam is broken. If you want me to keep quiet about your little windfall, you're going to have to fix a meeting with Therma for me.
Therma won't do it.
Well, you'd better make her do it, because otherwise I'm going to go straight to the Guild of Thieves, Burglars, and Allied Trades to tell them about you. They don't take kindly to unlicensed blackmail.
You do that to me?
Look into my eyes and tell me if I'm bluffing.
All right. Give me some time. I'll leave message at your office when it arranged.
I look forward to it. It's a pleasure doing business with you, Sapphire.
You're a cold one, Luton.
Not as cold as you, I reckon. I decided to leave Sapphire alone after that. I'd got what I wanted.
Yeah.
Well, always a... sapient, and it's a nice... Still here?
Here's a...
Do you want to know what happened with...
That's what I...
Is it?
Don't you like...
What's not... You're...
Do you...
I have... Do you want to hear about...
I'm not...
I never said you were. I just thought you might like to know.
I don't need the details.
I found some frayed rope. Any idea what...
Be careful, Luton.
I've got things... I'll see you... I couldn't open the boxes without a key. I guess an upmarket establishment like Saturnalia, they certainly needed them more than I did. Sapphire had a collection of trawl cosmetics, a granite filing stone, some colored sand, and various bottles. It all looked like junk to me. The mirror was a sad indictment of Sapphire's misconception that there was something glamorous about her job. What do you know? I can see my face in the mirror. It all looked like junk. Come to persecute. A man's got a... That's all. Always. I couldn't imagine who would pay attention to the notice. Learn the ancient mystic art of the path of the scorpion. based upon the real truth. Learn the ancient... I think... I see, sir, who... Is Carlotta... Why... Is the... But... I've got a... Go... I decided not to bring up. I couldn't escape the feeling that something... I'll be back. The book was an old edition of Twerp's Peerage, probably a collector's item. Why do rich families feel the need to leave old, valuable books lying around in their reception halls? It's bad enough that they have so much more money than you without rubbing it in. The book was about the lineage and heraldry of the nobility of the city of Ankh. I didn't understand much of it, but I noticed that there were handwritten corrections in it. The book was an old edition of Why Do Rich... It's bad... I'll say this for the von Oberwalds. They had class. There weren't many homes in Ankh-Morpork with a window that could take your breath away. Well, maybe in Unseen University, but I'd heard that they had windows there that could literally take your breath away. There was no way I was going to try and smash such an incredible work of art. The painting bore a striking resemblance to Carlotta. I couldn't think of a good reason to steal the painting, even though it would have looked great on my office wall. I confess, I was consumed with avarice, but I wasn't about... There was something about the wooden staircase that was really impressive. I think it might have been the thought that it probably cost more to make than everything I owned. When I broke in before, there was a stack of crates for me to climb down. Now there was nothing. I needed another way in. I damaged the skylights. Gee. I just wanted to forget about the skylight for the time being. I damaged the sky. Gee. The River Ankh. Probably the only river in the universe on which I'd already had to die. I couldn't tell what the crates contained. I couldn't carry the crates even if it wasn't for the watchman, I could as it was. I guess I never really noticed that the Cafe Ankh had a wine cellar before. Perhaps if they'd run out of drinks at the bar, I'd have been more inclined to investigate. I knew full well that I wouldn't be able to get down there without permission and the right key. I'd always respect. I don't know. I guess it. Taking a break, Samael? Oh, yes. It's not easy working the piano all night. Well, I'm sure you deserve it. Thank you, Mr. Luton. You don't have to call me Mr. Samael. We're old friends. Sure thing, Mr. Luton. Old friends. I reckon I've earned a right to call you Mr. As long as that's what you want. How's business, Samael? It's pretty good, Mr. Luton. How are things with you? Not so good. I think I'm so deep in trouble that I haven't even realized it yet. You haven't had much luck, have you, Mr. Luton? Not since the Hotel Pseudopolis. That was when... Oh, I see. That's okay, Samael. I don't mind talking to you about it. You're like family. Do you know anything about them? Sorry, Mr. Luton, I don't know them. I wasn't about... Do you know anything about the murder of a man named Mundy? Sorry, Mr. Luton, I don't know anything. I found some frayed rope near Mundy's body. Any idea what it means? I wouldn't know anything about that, Mr. Luton. Does the word Azil mean anything to you? Sorry, Mr. Luton, I don't know anything about that. What do you know about a woman named Carlotta? Sorry, Mr. Do you know a troll by the name of Malachite? Sorry. Have you seen Ilsa recently? You weren't expecting her to be here, were you? No, I wasn't. I've not seen her for a while. Last time she was here, she was with a foreign gentleman. I think he might have been from the Agatian Empire. Yeah, that'll be 2 conkers, I guess. How come you know about the Agatian Empire? That's not common knowledge, is it? Worked the piano for enough years and you hear just about everything. Any idea where they might be now? I don't know, Mr. Luton, but I think they might be in trouble. Could be right. What do you know about a dwarf named Alkali? Sorry, Mr. Luton, I don't know them. You hear a lot of talk around here, Samael. Have you heard anything about the counterweight killings? Oh, yeah. I've heard the talk. It's making the customers nervous. What do they say? Just rumors. You know how rumors spread. Well, let me know if you hear anything that has the ring of truth to it. Do you know anything about Reagan's murder? Sorry, Mr. Luton, I don't know anything about that. Tempting as it... I really didn't want... I suppressed... I would... Thanks again. No problem.
Jotain. Tätäkään.
Come to Percy. A man's... Tempting as it was. I was... I really didn't want... That's all for... Oh. I have a few more... Your I suppressed... I would... Tempting as it... I wasn't... I really... I'm going to come back late. I see, sir. Who is the cup? I've got a few... Is there anything useful? Oh... I decided I couldn't... Do you know anything?
Mr.
Do you know...
Mr.
Vilkaisen läpi.
I'll be back later.
I
Tosiaan,
look forward to it.
aivan älytöntä taas. Sitten en olisi missään mielessä tajunnut. Pitää mennä ruumista. Onko se on jo tunnistanut, mutta sitten pitää vielä katsoa vaan.
One thing had been bugging me since I'd found Reagan's body. In the iconograph that the Count had given me, Reagan was bald. Here, in the flesh, Reagan had a full head of hair. I had to pull hard on his toupee to get it off. Reagan must have glued it on to stop it from flying off as he drove the carriage. Underneath the toupee was a small key. I guess it must have been important, or he wouldn't have glued it to his head. I see. Who? Is the Count receiving guests?
No, but he will see you.
I've got a few more.
Go.
I decided not.
Okay.
I found this key on Reagan's body. I was hoping you knew what it opened.
No, I'm afraid I don't. But I don't think it's for anything in the mansion.
Reagan had a small key under his toupee. It was basically glued onto his head, so I guess it was important to him. I'll be back. Can we talk, or do I have to play that?
Business is waking to.
Now your pockets are a little fuller. Does this key mean anything to you?
Yeah, I know what it is. It's a safety deposit key for the boxes here in Saturnalia.
Thanks. Time to I figured a really good private investigator could do a lot of painstaking research and work out which box belonged to Reagan. But I figured, hey, the guy's a dwarf. So I just tried all the lockers on the bottom row. It fitted into box 39 like a glove. Eventually. Inside was an envelope and a bracelet with carved wooden charms. The plot thickened, and you could already stand a spoon up in it.
No se on siitä kiinni aiotko kuunnella mua, jos mä kiellän?
When I opened Reagan's envelope, I don't know what I was expecting. What I wasn't expecting was to find that the envelope was empty. There wasn't even anything written on the inside. The envelope had come from Reagan's safety deposit box, and I had a feeling that it was important somehow. The thing was, it seemed to be empty. I don't know why Reagan kept a charm bracelet in his safety deposit box, but I guess he wanted to keep it safe. There was a strangely mystical feeling about the charm bracelet, and I wasn't sure I liked it.
No, se näkee sitten.
Can we talk, or
Business waking.
This envelope belonged to Reagan. Did you ever see him with it?
Sure, he carries it around the casino sometimes. I never knew what was in it though.
Did he show it to anyone?
I guess. I don't know who though.
I think this charm bracelet belonged to Reagan. Do you recognize it?
Sure, he used to wear that on the few occasions that he gambled. and that wasn't very often.
And when he didn't use it, it went in his safety deposit box?
I guess so. He used to hang on to it like his life depended on it when he played.
Time to excuse me. Hello again, Warb.
Luton.
This is an envelope that belonged to Reagan. Have you seen it before?
No, I don't think so.
You're not sure?
Sometimes it's like hard to be certain of like, well, anything.
This mean anything to you?
What is it?
I was hoping you could tell me.
Some kind of charm bracelet, I assume. Is it like genuine?
What do you mean?
Is it lucky?
I don't know.
If it is, I might be interested in it.
Maybe I'll see you. Still here?
Here.
I got a key from Reagan's body. It led me to this. It's empty.
It's empty.
Mean anything to you?
No, nothing.
Is this charm bracelet familiar to you?
It's Reagan's. Where did you find it?
In his safety deposit box. What can you tell me about the bracelet?
I think Reagan thought it was his lucky charm or something. I'm not really sure.
Did you ever see Reagan at Saturnalia?
Yes, he went there sometimes. He stayed well away from me when he did. He didn't much like me.
Was he wearing the charm bracelet in the casino?
Yes, I think he may have been.
I've got things to do. I'll see you around, Carlotta. Sapient. It's.
I see.
Is the.
Net.
I've got a few.
Go.
This empty envelope belonged to Reagan. Does it mean anything to you?
An empty envelope? I don't understand.
Neither do I. Recognize this?
Yes, I do. It is Reagan's charm bracelet. I gave it to him.
Is there something special about it?
It's been in the family for years. I'm not sure where it came from, but I believe that the charms were carved from the wood of the serendipitous redwood.
What?
They were very, very old trees, and they grew very tall. Up to a mile, if the texts can be believed. The trouble was they were very top-heavy, and the slightest wind would knock them over.
How did they grow so tall?
That was the thing, you see. They'd fall over, but they were unbelievably lucky. They'd prop themselves up against each other like a house of cards.
Lucky trees?
Oh, believe me, as a student of flora, I have seen many such strange things evolve. Strangeness is indigenous to the Discworld.
What happened to the redwoods?
Someone cut one down, and the rest came down like dominoes. They crushed the fellow with the axe, I believe.
I guess they weren't so lucky for him. I don't know why...
Yes, it is.
Is there some... How did... Lucky...
Oh,
What? I'll be back. There was a strangely mystical feeling about the charm bracelet, and I wasn't sure I liked it. I really didn't want to play. A roulette table sat in one corner of... I didn't feel like... I didn't need any of the cards, although I would have liked to feel maybe the Ace of Octograms, the Inquisitor. the exquisitor, and the irritating habit of finishing off other people's sentences. Would the charm improve my chances at gambling? I decided not to find out. Would the charm The game whirl was croupier for it.
Vähän ajattelin tuolla. Sillä ainakin todistettiin.
I wasn't sure what the charm had. The diamond tooth was very sharp, and that wasn't good. I wasn't about the grapple. When I opened what I wasn't there wasn't even any. Can we business week? Time to out
Luton.
I had a feeling that Warb might be interested in the charm bracelet, but I didn't know what he had done. The one thing I knew about gambling was that you kept your. Maybe I'll see. I need your help again, Maleclips. Any reason you can think of why a person would keep an empty envelope safe?
Just because it looks empty doesn't mean it is. There could be a hyperspatial vortex in there, a link to some trans-dimensional cache.
Nope. I'm pretty sure it's just an empty envelope. Does this charm bracelet mean anything to you?
Well, it's a Gluckding carved out of serendipitous redwood from Uberwald, I guess.
What does it do?
It brings luck.
Good luck or bad luck?
Both. First, it brings good luck, little stacks of felicitous circumstances. But sooner or later, the wielder pays for any good luck with a massive dose of bad luck. A giant omelette of doom delivered by a mad god.
Great. A mad god's omelette. Do you want it?
Are you insane? Give it to someone who's desperate.
Kenelle voi aattaa?
I'll have to. The truth. I wasn't about to throw that in the pool. I have some more.
Ask them, if you must.
I had a feeling that the envelope wasn't. Does this mean anything to you?
Puh! A child's charm bracelet, nothing compared to the power of Anu Anu.
Well, I'll
be...
I need your help.
Well, I said...
I found this envelope, and I think it might be important. Only it's empty.
It's empty.
Why would anyone put an empty envelope in a safe place?
Maybe they were bluffing.
What do you mean?
Could have been a blackmailer's envelope.
An empty blackmail envelope?
Well, this is just an idea, but if someone thought you knew something and you convinced them it was in the envelope, you could use it to bluff.
Nobby.
It's a stupid idea, isn't it? Forget I mentioned it.
No, it's a good idea. I just can't believe you thought of it.
Hey, I'm not as dumb as I look.
You could only be as dumb as you look, Nobby, if you were a very good actor. Does this charm bracelet mean anything to you?
No.
Well, I'm sure...
Yeah.
I see.
Who? I had a feel... Do you recognize...
Yes, sir.
Mind telling me what it is?
A charm bracelet, sir.
I knew that. Do you know anything else about it?
Yes, sir.
What? What do you know about the charm bracelet?
I know that Sir is carrying it, for one.
Forget it. I think...
So, but Sir's been...
Come to Perth.
A man's... Does this charm...
No.
That's all.
Oh.
Samael.
Mr. Lu.
Why would anyone keep an empty envelope safe?
I have no idea. Sorry.
That's okay, Samael.
I don't really understand it myself.
Does this charm...
Sorry, Mr. Lu.
Thanks again.
No problem.
You can't go around jimmying every door open just because you can. Besides, I liked Samael, and I drew the line at breaking into the cafe's wine cellar without his permission. Well, I had a... Does this charm...
Find some...
Always a... I have a...
You're...
Good.
I had a... Does this...
That's...
I'm going to...
Mikään ei oo ilmeisesti. Jep.
Still here?
Here.
Do you want to hear?
I'm not.
I know.
I. As what?
Go on.
That's.
I found any idea.
Be careful.
I wasn't. Do you know this? Do you know?
No, I.
Have you heard?
No, no.
Never mind. It was a. Have you heard?
No.
Oh,
I'm.
Where were you?
When was.
Shortly after dropping you off at the temple.
Well.
I've got things to do.
Tarkista läpi. Tässä on muutamia putteja, on tosi hyvin kierroja, että niitä välttämättä ei heti tajua. Tässä on vähän huono inventorin käyttö. Ei uskalla hirveästi kokeilla kaikkea.
The dwarf I knew.
Ei.
The frayed rope in the rafters was the same as the rope around Mundy's legs. The rope that used to be tied to the grapple. That had to mean that Mundy was hung upside down and then killed. And that meant someone cut him down after he was killed. Curiouser and curiouser. They say that the universe is full of particles called inspirations. One of them hit me at that moment because I suddenly realized something that should have been obvious. If Mundy was hung upside down, and if Mundy wrote the message, then the message was upside down. Turning it around in my head, I could see that it read 3712V. It wasn't a meaningless word after all. It was a meaningless combination of letters and numbers instead. Somehow that seemed much, much worse.
Tuli justis tää. Voi hyvän. Ikinä mä en ole. Musta on aina, että täällä on joku, jos kun piti kääntää katson väärinpäin. Jollekin hahmolle esittää. Mä ikinä. Ja tollakin saa.
Still here?
Here.
The person who killed Mundy hung him upside down and poked his eyes out. Can you think of any reason they might have done that?
What? No. Why should I?
Well, you knew Mundy. I didn't. I thought you might have an insight on it that I didn't. Does 3712V mean anything to you?
Let's try not to get too sidetracked, Luton.
Did you kill Mundy?
What? What do you think I am, Luton?
It's got nothing to do with what I think of you, Carlotta. But the Watch are investigating, and if they find out about your connection with Mundy...
So why are you up?
Let's just call it...
If I had done it.
That depends.
On what?
On why you did it.
You don't strike me.
I'm a simple man, Carlotta. I have simple ideas of what's right and what's... The trouble is, things are seldom that. It's always some... I try not to... In my line of work...
That must be a
I do my... You still have an aunt?
I didn't kill him, Luton. If that...
Do you have an aunt? I told her. I wasn't surprised. Frankly, she was...
There are witnesses who...
And where...
I was in the...
For your sin?
Everything I do.
I've got things to do. I'll see you... I have a...
Your
Does 371...
That's no.
Nice.
I'm going to... Along the length of the wharf were hundreds of posts for mooring ships to. It seemed like a lot of bollards to me. I need your help again.
Well, okay, I suppose.
I take it I'm still the prime suspect for Mundy's murder.
Afraid so, Luton.
I take it you realize that Mundy was hung upside down from the rafters.
Well, yes, of course. Yes. Hung upside down. Yeah.
I can't believe that the person doing the most work on this case is also the prime suspect. Does 3712V mean anything to you?
No.
Well, I'm sure I'll be back.
Yeah, right, Luton.
Come to persecute me some more, Luton? A man's got to have a hobby. I've been thinking hard about Mundy's death, and there's something that doesn't add up.
Oh, enthrall me with your erudite wisdom, great one.
When Mundy was killed, he was hanging from the ceiling, but when the watch turned up, he was on the ground.
Maybe the killer cut him down when he was dead.
I don't think so. I think that message was written by Mundy, and I don't think the killer saw him write it, which means someone must have cut him down. Somebody who was in that room cut Mundy down. I don't think it was the killer, and I know it wasn't me.
What are you getting at?
You cut him down, didn't you?
Why should I tell you?
I've already told you. I don't think the killer would have cut him down. Which means if you cut him down, you're in the clear.
All right, yeah, so I cut him down. Happy now?
Why?
Not everything has a reason, Luton.
But people can usually find reasons for what they do.
Well, draw your own conclusions.
I was missing something, but I couldn't see what. You cut down Mundy so you could search him, didn't you?
What are you suggesting?
Nothing worse than the truth. You're a liar and a thief.
All right, Luton. What is it you want? What have I got to do to get you to leave?
Just give me what you found in Mundy's boot, and I'll leave you alone.
Here, you want it? Have it. It's worthless anyway.
What is it?
How the hell should I know? Now, I kept my end of the bargain. You keep yours. Leave me alone.
We'll see, Mankin. I figure I owe you at least one lie.
Get out, Luton.
In my own time, Mankin had given me a small coin. But it wasn't any type of coin I recognized. I guess I should be grateful to the half-elf for keeping the clue away from the watch. But frankly, I just didn't like the little weasel. That's all for...
Always...
The only time I saw Mundy, he was playing with this coin. A metallic flat disc with a square hole in the center. The coin had markings on one side that I couldn't read. It wasn't from any nation I'd ever heard of. Examining the coin closely, I noticed that the markings had been engraved on. That seemed an unusual thing to do on a coin. Unfortunately, the inscription was illegible. Somehow, I wasn't surprised to find Al-Khali waiting for me in my office. In my head was a list of suspects for killing Mundy, and Al-Khali had gone straight in at number 1.
Mr. Luton, I am so pleased to see you.
The feeling's not mutual, Al-Khali. What do you want?
All in good time, Mr. Luton.
Why do I get a feeling that Al-Khali isn't your real name? It's not very dwarfish.
My name is of little consequence, Mr. Luton, and the story of how I acquired it will have to wait for another time. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Now, why would you want to carry an axe?
To hack at people, Mr. Luton. An axe is the weapon of choice for a dwarf, you should know that.
Why kill me now? What's the point?
I'm not planning to kill you, Mr. Luton. I merely need the axe as a deterrent should you wish to try something foolish.
I don't try foolish things. Sometimes they just happen.
Then I suggest you don't let them happen now.
When you've finished searching me, I know a nice restaurant we can go to.
So, you have been a busy man, Mr. Luton. I think you'd better come with me.
Is there an alternative?
That would depend on how attached you are to your arms and legs, and how much you want them to remain attached to you.
I didn't know where Al-Khali was taking me, but I was now sure he wasn't going to kill me. He could have done that in my office, and it would have been days before anyone found the body. No, he wanted me for something. I just didn't know what. I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting to be taken to see a troll. I've seen some unusual things in my life, but a troll and a dwarf working together?
That was something else.
Ankh-Morpork wasn't hot at that time of year, but the big troll was sitting back in a wicker chair being fanned.
Smart.
Out of the cold of the mountains, overheating of their silicon brains was the reason for the trademark stupidity of the trolls.
I'd have to watch my step with this one.
Al-Khali had a brief whispered conversation with the troll, but I couldn't make out what was said. At one point, I thought I heard Al-Khali mention a coin from Sorta, but the rest was a mystery.
Mr. Luton, so glad you could come and join us, and so punctually, too. Yes, I know you were escorted by Mr. Al-Khali here, but the fact that you arrived on time shows that you didn't put up any show of resistance, which means you're intelligent enough to realize that we are not your enemies, and since we are not enemies, there is always the possibility that we might be friends. You are a quiet man?
No, I like to talk, but I like to dance, too. And the trick in both is knowing when to lead and when to follow.
Excellent, sir. Excellent. I distrust a quiet man. He generally picks the wrong time to talk and says the wrong things. A talking is something you cannot do judiciously unless you keep in practice. I'll tell you right out. I'm a troll who likes talking to people who like to talk.
What shall we talk about?
What indeed do friends talk about?
Most friendships don't start out with one of the friends being led around by an axe-wielding dwarf. While we're at it, most people know the names of their friends.
Of course. How impolite of me. Mr. Alcali, I believe you already know. And my name is Jasper Horst. Perhaps you've heard of me.
I have a bad memory for names. It gets me into a lot of trouble.
You have a bad attitude as well. That also gets you into trouble.
Now, Mr. Alcali. It doesn't do to slander a guest, especially one whom you hope to count among your friends.
So, if we're friends, I guess Alcali's warning about staying off the Mundy case was just a friendly warning.
Straight to the point. I do admire a man who avoids skirting the issues. Such a man makes an excellent politician, but is almost impossible to trust. Well, sir, it seems you are now in the possession of something that we would like.
And what might that be?
Come now, sir. There's no need to play coy. We know you were the last person Mundy saw, and we know you have the coin from Sorter. Frankly, sir, we know you have the golden sword, and we wish to make an offer for it.
What if I told you it wasn't for sale?
Don't be tedious, Mr. Luton. We obviously know that you are in the employ of Carlotta. Hence we know that you have a price. Whatever she is offering you, we can safely offer double. And unlike Carlotta, I am a troll of my word.
What if she's offering me something that you can't match?
You don't strike me as a man who would fall for Carlotta's moves, sir. You strike me as a man with better judgment than that. Are you loyal to Carlotta?
I am loyal to one person and one person alone. Me.
That's wonderful. I do like a man who isn't afraid to tell you that he is looking after himself.
We're all looking after ourselves.
Indeed, sir. Indeed. And I don't trust a man who says he's not.
Trust seems very important to you, Horst.
Indeed. Without trust, we are no better than barbarians. It is the capacity for trust that sets the humans, trolls, dwarfs, and such above the lesser animals.
That and our capacity for cruelty.
What a dark outlook you have, sir. Are you a pessimist?
Pessimism is a term used by optimists to attempt to discredit those who see the world as it really is.
You are a man of the world, sir. I like that about you.
Tell me about the golden sword, Horst.
Carlotta didn't tell you what it was?
Horst seemed to think I knew things that I didn't, and that could give me the advantage. I decided it was time for a good bluff. She told me, but I took it for granted she was lying.
A not injudicious thing to do.
Let's cut to the chase. How much will you pay me for the sword?
Suffice it to say, I will pay you its value.
That doesn't give me much to go on.
You will appreciate, sir, that a golden sword like that is a difficult artifact to sell. Indeed, you would draw a lot of attention were you to attempt to do so. I will offer you what the sword is worth, and that, I can assure you, is more than Carlotta is offering you.
I could use a figure.
I don't like to commit myself to fixed fees. Those who set exact price tags leave themselves no room to negotiate when the circumstances change. Rest assured that it will exceed $10,000 at the least.
10,000, eh? I'll think about it. Well, it's been nice talking to you, Horst, but I have other things to do.
I trust you will keep in touch, sir. I look forward to hearing your decision.
You're letting him go?
Come now, Mr. Alcali. Mr. Luton is our friend and associate. He is free to come and go as he pleases.
I'll let you know what I decide, Horst.
But of course, goodbye, Mr. Luton. For now.
I was starting to piece together what was going on. Whatever this sword was, it was clear that Mundy brought it into town with him on the Milka. I guess he was the courier. For who, wasn't clear. He must have hidden it in one of the crates on the Milka and then broken into the warehouse to recover it. Only the watchman stopped him before he could retrieve it. None of which told me where the sword was, or even what the sword was. One thing was clear. I needed to talk to Carlotta.
Oh, yes. Jos taas vähän loppuu. Ja miten vaan. Jospa.